Mr. Mata, Mr. Talente, and then when the coach is right, it is Mr. Pastor Dean. Pastor Dean, over to you, coach.
Okay, from my side also welcome on this press conference for two important games against Uganda and South Sudan for African qualifiers. So we started the camp today. There are 20 players present. There are 3 players who are coming later. So Mokwana is arriving tonight. And Sitoli and Gazana, they are arriving tomorrow morning because they still played yesterday again. When we go back in the last 8 months of this year, I think, of the first month, sorry, of this year, I think we can be very happy with the results of Bafana Bafana. We made a very good AFCON bronze medal. After that, friendly game against Algeria, very good. The games against Zimbabwe and Nigeria for the World Cup qualifiers, also we did very good results. So that means that, we are confident and we believe in ourselves to start those qualifiers for AFCON 2025. I think it's very important that when you play qualifiers, to start or to have a good start. When you have a good start, you put pressure on your opponents. When you don't, it's just the opposite, and that we have to try to avoid that. With the quality we have and with the status we have now, because at last, or at least, Bafana Bafana is ranked by the best 10 of Africa. I think this is the place that is for a team or for a country like Africa. Well, South Africa is a normal team, and we always try to achieve that. We are now there, so that means that we have to try to stay there. And you can stay there by having good results now in the next 3 months, qualifiers for AFCON. So that means that if you have a good start, and a good start for me is 6 on 6. I don't think we can be happy if we shouldn't have 6 on 6. If we can achieve that, then you have the 2 key games in October against Congo. And in the best of all, you can already qualify at that moment. So that means let's try to win those 2 games. We have the quality for that. We have the confidence for that. But that doesn't mean that we have to underestimate our opponents from Friday and for next week, Tuesday. They are difficult teams to play against. They are teams who have much power, much height. They play with the heart. There are some good individuals in the team, so that means that from our side we have to play on our level. And if we can achieve again and confirm again what we did in the last months, I think we have to be able to win those 2 games. There are, let's say, little negative things. First of all, as we all know, PSL only starts half September. So that means that we have players between us that didn't play so much good games. I know that there are all clubs who are not playing NTN8 or preliminary games for Champions League or Confederation Cup, that they all play friendly games against each other, PSL games against each other, but this is not the same. It's pre-season games, it's friendly games. This is a total different thing than a game like next Friday and next Tuesday for a qualifier. So it annoys me a little bit, and it will be for me also see how we can manage that. Um, I think the most important thing is you have to have the right mentality. Again, it will not be easy games, but if we can show the right mentality, I think we will not suffer so much from a lack of games, of important games. Let me say like this. And what I said in the beginning, we have the qualities, we showed it, we confirmed it. So it's up to us to go on like this. And next week, Wednesday, to come back happy from South Sudan with the 6-6. Thank you.
All right, members of the media, will now open the floor to the questions that you'd like to ask the coach. Oh, no questions. Okay.
Maybe, coach, is the squad still as is? Don't have any injuries from this past weekend?
Till the moment, no. The checkup is still busy because everyone needed to be there for lunch. So the doctor is now looking, but at first sight, I don't think we have some injuries. So maybe little things that always happened in a game, but there will be no problem that someone of the group will be or had to be sent at home like we had already before in the few camps.
Coach, maybe just in a little bit of detail, I know you have touched on it, just the unfortunate situation of having players who have not played full contact football, and how do you manage it, and how disadvantageous it is for you?
Yeah, we have to we have to look at certainly when we will make the team. I already discussed it with Helman, so we know a little bit what we will do for next Friday, and then it's up to the players. Those who are playing in teams who didn't play so much intensive games. Okay, that's what I said. That to find the right mentality, and that's up to the player. But when I know those players already very well, except a few new ones now again in the group. But I know that I don't really have to bother about that. They showed already in difficult situations the mentality. And when I think again at the trip we made to Nigeria, and then you see the performance they made against Nigeria, that means that we have the right mentality. So when there are boys on the bench, I don't say that to say something, but I said always to the group, those who are on the bench are sometimes more important than those who are on the pitch. Because when you needed them, that means that things are not going well on the pitch, and then you have to count on them. So they can't disappoint you. And this is important. And we showed, let's say in the last year, that we always have guys on the bench who can help us a lot. So I expect that from those who will be on the bench, and if things are not going well or things are not going like we like, that we can change it, that we can change also the situation on the field.
Yes. Coach, going to Villa from SABC, going to these two matches up against Uganda and also South Sudan, when you check on paper, maybe teams that have not been doing well, but you know that Uganda is also going to have some resistance because they are one of the teams which are more stronger in the group when you look at them and Congo, and also I think it's maybe an adversary for you because your first game when you arrived was against Uganda at the same stadium, Orlando Stadium.
This is what I think what I said already. You can't always win a game by playing good football. and maybe that is such a game. I know also very good the coach of Uganda because he's from Belgium, so it's a good coach. So it will not be easy, but if we can find the right mentality, and we showed it already before in very difficult circumstances that we can count on that mentality that we need in such games. I think, for example, the game in Liberia, it was not an easy game. We played 2-2 here. I was not happy and blah blah. And yeah, then suddenly the team was there. So that I'm expecting also next Friday. If we can't find a solution, if we can't win the game by playing good football, that we can go to our mentality, our good mentality, and yeah, that is fighting. As you said, it's a very athletic team, Uganda, big guys with a heart like this, fighting for every ball, and it will not be different on Friday. It's up to us to put something against them. And that can be, first of all, our quality. I think I can say, or I may say that on quality level we are the better team, but that will not be enough on Friday. That I'm sure of it also. So, but I'm confident. We know, and this team showed already that we can also win games with a good mentality. So that not really get me afraid. It's a little bit more that lack of intensive games, because you can have the will to do it, but maybe you don't have the energy to do it. But we will see. And again, I can't, on the players who will be on the bench, if things are not going well, that we can change that with them.
Mchogozisi from Far Post. Coach, have you given some thought to the goalkeeping issue? I mean, Veli is probably your most senior goalkeeper, but he hasn't played any football. Yeah. Gos played one game in the MTN 8. The one that's played more games is Chaine.
Yeah.
Have you thought of that, how to maneuver that situation?
We thought a lot the last days, Helman and me, because okay, there are several solutions, not only what goalkeeping, but also players on the pitch. And yes, you have to take in mind what we already told here. We will have players who will not have so much from those intensive games, and we will others, like players of Stellenbosch, like players of Pirates, and they showed it in their games. When you see playing Pirates last Saturday, you see that those players are ready. They play on a high rhythm. They have the game. Same thing at Stellenbosch, and that was the big difference between Sanders and Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch was ready for the game. Sanders was not ready for the game. So, and that we have to take into account when we will put our team together, and also for the goalkeepers. But don't ask me an answer on that now. That will be in the next days. It has to be a little bit overthinking, Helman and me, and I hope we will take the right decision.
Temba Shabalala, Joseph FM Sports. Coach, I don't know whether you caught the wind of it. The interview that I was listening to by Pesitau, sounding so a little bit disgruntled by being left out of the squad. Just give us the process of you and the engagement of the player before call up and as the player gets into the squad.
I think first of all, the player knows why he's not with us. He knows it. This is no problem. I told him, it's no problem. That he doesn't agree, that's another thing. And it's a good thing, because that means that he wants to play for Bafana Bafana. But he has to understand also, and he can tell me what he wants. I know what he gets from criticism after a Bafana Bafana game. Don't tell me it doesn't affect you. Don't tell me that. I have experience. I've been criticized also as a player, also as a coach. You can say, yeah, no, but here still, it stays here. And the situation in Al Ali, You don't have to tell me that the situation is clear. It's not clear. It's not clear. He didn't play for the last 4 weeks. There is a problem with the coach. So I know it, and it's not because I read it in the papers. So I don't think for those important games and those very intensive games that Percy will be mentally ready for that. And he knows that, but I don't have a problem that the player is not agreeing with what I'm telling him. On the opposite, I think that's a very good mentality showing, but no, I want to be with Bafana Bafana. And he will be with us again when things are clear. So I don't think directly now that there is still a problem in October. We will see.
Yes. Coach, the issue of the captaincy, have you decided, seeing that you both don't have your captain advice?
Yes. We have to choose a new captain. So first of all, I will talk with the player himself to see if he's ready to take, because it's not so easy to be a captain when you have such a good captain as Ronald. So he has to be ready for it. So I have to talk first with him, and I have to talk also first before that, to talk with Helmut. So we had a little chat after lunch, and yes, we know a little bit what we're going to do, but I think it's first to the players to do.
Who's that? Which player is that?
I'm sorry?
Which player is that?
Yes.
Coach, you're sitting with a few new players in your squad, but particularly the one on your left, Talent Mbata. Looking at him play, I know you said that you had a discussion with Coach Hellman around him. What does he bring into this squad, and what is it that you have seen in him that made you say, I was right by selecting him?
First of all, that the players who were before or in the previous games with Bafana Bafana satisfied me. So when you want someone else in the team, you have to put out someone else. And I ask you, okay, I take Mabasa. Tell me you have to leave at home. Ikram did it very well in Algeria and against Nigeria and Zimbabwe. Lyle is playing very good in the Premier League. So I can't take someone because, yes, and to put someone out. I have to see that there is balance in my team. And that if something happening during a game, that I can change something. Not by putting someone the same type of player, no, sometimes to put another player. So, and Mabasa is not a different type of player than Lyle and than Ikram. Ikram scores a lot also, and Lyle is scoring in the Premier League. So, for the moment, yeah, it's maybe difficult to accept for you, or also for the player, or maybe for the club. But for the moment, I don't change.
Coach, I know you've spoken a lot about wanting a lot of Bafana Bafana players in the top leagues in Europe. Right now, Siyabonga Ngezana is going to be playing in the Europa League group stages. I'm sure you've taken interest in that. Because there's not a lot of Bafana players who get to play at that level of football. What are you expecting to see from him when he comes back to the national team? Considering the level where he gets to compete now.
I said it already in the past. The most important thing, first of all, is for players who are playing abroad, is how they play. When I came here 3 years ago, we had also players abroad, but they didn't play. So that is the most important thing, first of all. And then to see how are they playing. There are some players who people mentioned, and then I'm going to look to that player, and then I know when I see him playing in a game in the country where he plays, that is not the level what Bafana Bafana asks. There is a big difference between club matches and Bafana Bafana matches. A big difference. And when you see even in the little countries in Africa, also there you find players who are playing abroad. We have played against Algeria. There was no player, I think even in the selection who played in Algeria. We played against Nigeria, same thing. Played against Morocco, same thing. We played against Mali, same thing. So this is a different and a higher level. And sometimes even when this guy does it well abroad in his team, maybe he's still not good enough to come to Bafana Bafana. And it's sometimes a difficult choice for me. But I just want the best. And I think with choosing the best and knowing, I think I can say for myself that I know international football. And I know that sometimes even when a guy plays good, that he's not good enough for Bafana Bafana. And we did it already in the past. Players who plays abroad, I invited them and selected them, and then they played. And after the game, we had to say, no. So I know there are some players and players who are playing good. But at the other side, as you see, like Ngezana, he made a lot of progression by playing in Romania. So I expect that now also a little bit from guys who went abroad, like Mokwana. Let's hope that he plays. Because when he will not play in Esperance, it will go down. I hope that Sitori plays now in the first division in Gil Vicente. So it's important that you play and that you play on that high level. So yeah, we look at those players, we have a lot of work after every weekend to see, what is this one doing, what is this. Take for example Van Duivenbode. He didn't play last week in the Vitesse. That means something. And that's why I didn't select him, because okay, it's not the moment now. He doesn't have that level to play in Bafana Bafana.
Gentlemen, there's also Mr. Fawaz here and Mr. Talanda, the coach.
Maybe the coach must move and then they are.
Oh yeah.